Our top focus at this hour, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who is on a landmark two-day visit in India, will meet with his Indian counterpart, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, today in the national capital of New Delhi. This comes after Johnson announced commercial agreements worth $1.3 billion on Thursday. The new investments and exports deals announced were in areas ranging from software engineering to auto manufacturing to health. To give an idea of the kind of commercial agreements signed, the deals range from research and development centers being opened up to sale of robotic surgical systems in India, all of which are expected to create thousands of jobs, both in the United Kingdom and India.
Any time in my political lifetime has the living bridge between the UK and India really been so strong. And just on this trip, we've got about £1 billion worth of investment coming from India into the UK. They're the second biggest investor in the UK. That investment alone is going to drive 11,000 jobs. We're hoping to complete another free trade agreement with India by the end of the year, by the autumn. And already you're seeing products like UK medical supplies, British apples, getting ready to come onto the Indian market even before the deal is done.
Now, today's key meeting between the leaders will see a greater push for stronger defence, security and trade ties. Johnson has said that he is hopeful that India and the United Kingdom will sign the free trade agreement currently under negotiations by the end of this year. Negotiating teams will hold their third round of formal talks in India next week. Also on the agenda is Russia's actions in Ukraine and the need to remain focused on the Indo-Pacific despite turbulence in Europe.
I think everybody understands India and Russia have a historically very different relationship, perhaps than Russia and the UK have had over the last couple of decades. We have to reflect that reality, but clearly I'll be talking about it to Narendra Modi.
Now, Johnson will begin the day early, first visiting the Indian Presidential House, after which he is expected to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. He will then meet Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, following which he will be meeting Indian Prime Minister. The two leaders are expected to exchange MOUs and issue a joint press statement before Johnson's departure in the evening. And for more on this, our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Simbal, is joining us live on this broadcast. Thanks, Siddhant, for joining us at this hour. Now, yesterday we saw UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announcing commercial agreements worth $1.3 billion. What are the key issues that will dominate Johnson's second day in India? What is expected?
Well, today will be a hard day of diplomacy here in Delhi. In fact, we are near the Indian presidential palace, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where he will be given the ceremonial guard, and that essentially starts the long day in which there will be bilateral talks. Focus, of course, on the table when both the leaders, both the prime ministers sit, will be on Indo-Pacific, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Trade, of course, will be dominating. We know that 2 rounds of free trade talks have happened. The negotiations have happened. The third round will begin next week, and we know that the UK has shown indication for being flexible when it comes to visa regime, giving more visas to skilled Indian workers and of course students who want to study in UK university. That is a positive development for India and for UK as well. UK is keen to have more skilled workers in a post-Brexit world. It's a win-win for both the countries, but by and large it is the Russian invasion of Ukraine that dominates the agenda. We know that the UK government has said that it's not going to lecture India when it comes to its stance on Ukraine, but it's going to share perspective and hear what New Delhi has to say. So it's a pretty long day here in Delhi, but a day which will see both sides reaffirming the strong relationship between the two countries, which is by and large based on strong people-to-people relationship. There's a huge diaspora, Indian diaspora in UK, that forms a living bridge between the two countries.
Right. So, like you said, Johnson's visit to India comes at a time when India has taken a neutral stand on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And like you said, an agenda is also the Russia's action in Ukraine. Now, when UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson meets his counterpart, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, what can you tell us? What will dominate the talks between the two leaders?
Well, it's big focus on the trade. Trade remains the big emphasis from UK side, from India side. Both sides are keen that free trade talks are completed as soon as possible. We saw yesterday in Gujarat the UK Prime Minister saying that he's hoping that the trade talks will be finalized by autumn. But by and large, we know that UK Prime Minister is here in Delhi, but he is facing a lot of domestic issues with the Partygate scandal. But there is no word or a reverberation of that here in Delhi. In Delhi, the big focus is on bilateral issues, how both countries can work together in an increasingly changing world. And of course, UK's Indo-Pacific tilt is something that UK has been emphasizing on, saying that while yes, there are problems in Europe, but it is not losing sight of what is happening in Indo-Pacific, the worry regarding an increased Chinese aggressive action. So this is something that is also going to come up during the discussions. And India is also going to raise the issue of extradition of economic offenders like Vijay Mallya, and also the rise of the Khalistani extremism in UK. That, of course, is a threat. UK is taking strong action against them, but India is going to press for more action.